Do you desire to create a life where you live out your highest expression? Connect with other creative souls also living life and doing business to the beat of their own drum? I am Marie-Nicole and I am devoted to combining beauty, uniqueness and connection in everyday living experiences. As a creative professional and Dharma coach, I help people connect to the truth of who they are and facilitate them in embodying their uniqueness. I am also a mother of two precious young men and with children in tow have established and run unique businesses and embraced opportunities that have contributed to my creative career while creating magical memories for them too. It is my hope that this podcast inspires you to live life on your terms and earn your income through being uniquely you. After all, it is the unique thread we each contribute to the collective tapestry that creates the whole. Welcome back to the Business to Your Own Beat podcast. Today's episode topic is how to create your own stock library of images and video footage so you can create content consistently even when you don't feel like you are in the mood for it. As a self-employed mother of two who has built businesses with children in tow and in recent years becoming a single mum, I know what it's like. Life gets busy and even though you are passionate about the work that you do, some days you just don't feel like capturing images or video content of yourself to keep up that consistent creation required to stay in contact with your online audience and reach new potential customers and clients. I never wanted to resent becoming a mum, not fulfilling my own dreams while enjoying the blessings of motherhood. So I have always looked for ways to do what I can to work within my constraints, while still fostering the ability to thrive. Over the last few years, navigating my way through single motherhood alongside self-employment, this trait has served me well, as I have continued to show up and create content for all the platforms that I share my story and offerings through in a quest to serve others while still taking care of my own needs, demonstrating to my children that we can choose to focus on the possibilities and seek out opportunities to realize our dreams rather than dwell on our limitations and fall victim to our circumstances. I make no claim to having it all figured out as an eternal learner who is continually researching, exploring, discovering, testing new methods and tweaking and refining them in order to create and distribute content in a more efficient and effective way so I can connect with those I am here to serve while growing my business without burning the wick at both ends, still making space in my days for self-care and providing for the needs of my teenage son, who is still living here with me. I am by no means a martyr, but I am a passionate creator, a lover of life, seeing all the ebbs and flows of this journey of life as a part of what contributes to the magic of our existence here on earth. So if you really want the freedom to do the work you love as your source of income and build a business that supports the life that you desire to live, and would like some insights into how to find that balance of not dropping off for a month or two at a time, keeping up with that consistent content creation across all platforms that you know your target audience are hanging out in, even those days that you really don't feel up to it, then keep on listening, because that's what I want to share with you in today's episode. Now, back in episode 57, titled Prepared If Not Planned, I spoke of how I apply this concept to several areas of life in general, and touched on how I do this in terms of content creation too. I'll include a link to that in the show notes and end screen, as you may like to go back and listen or watch that episode. There are valuable tips in there that can support you and the information that I'm going to share with you now. But first, I'd like to remind you about the support you can get through the heavily government-funded Digital Solutions program that I am a digital guide for. Registering for this program saves you hundreds of dollars so you can be guided through building your awareness and understanding of the digital tools available to you that can support you in growing your business in a way that's both enjoyable and effective in the online space. This is only available to micro and small business owners in New South Wales, Australia, running a for-profit business. For only $45 plus GST, you can receive up to 4 hours of one-to-one coaching, focusing specifically on your needs in the digital space. And if you sign up via my affiliate link, which you'll find in the show notes, you'll also be supporting the production of this podcast as I receive a small finder's fee for bringing you on board. Now back to capturing images and footage, building your stock library. I'd like you to think about the times that you have felt inspired to capture content, when you have been doing something that ignites your passion, feels aligned with your highest expression. You are dressed in something that makes you feel empowered, and you just take 1 or 2 snapshots. Instead of doing that, I'd like to encourage you to allocate a little more time in that day, or really make the most of that feeling. It doesn't have to be a lot of time, but doing so can save you a lot of time in the future and support you in creating content with more ease when you don't have the time available to you. On a day like that, in that moment like that, even if you don't have resources available to you like your phone tripod, look around and see what is accessible to you that you can use. There have been many times that I have used a small branch or rocks or some random item as a tripod. In fact, the image on the front cover of my Empower Dressing Guidebook was taken on a day that I had not planned to take photos or video footage. I was sitting down by the river, reading and journaling in between commitments, and decided to make the most of the opportunity of this beautiful scene and setup, which showcased products that I make and represented the essence of the guidebook which I was writing at the time. It wasn't finished yet, and I did not capture that content with the intention of it being used for the cover image. I captured it based on the sense of peace I was feeling internally after all the challenges I had navigated my way through over the last few years, with all the changes taking place around me that were disorienting. Everything that I had built was being deconstructed, not knowing what the next phase of my life's journey would look like. But I knew what I was working on was truly in alignment with the direction that I was heading, because I was creating from a place of being truly connected to the truth of who I was as an individual. Doing that then enabled me to save photos and video footage that has contributed to content creation over and over again since. You can also amplify the experience of capturing content by creating a story around what you are capturing and why. A story for yourself. An example of this is when I felt called to capture a new profile photo. It was late October last year, winter was well and truly over, and I was loving being able to wear lighter layers, especially all linen. Every time I saw my previous profile photo, it took me back to that feeling of winter. And while I loved that profile photo, because it was captured during the time that was really transformative in my journey, I was shedding layers of the past version of self in my late 40s, not quite an empty nester, but suddenly a single mum after 24 years of marriage. I was connecting deeply with the archetype of the wild, wise woman during that time. There was a mysterious about the unknown future that lay ahead of me, and I was also leaning into that. I had discovered things about myself and the possibilities that my new situation was offering me that I could not have imagined or created for myself, and I really wanted to capture that moment in time. So I saved that photo as Wild Wise Woman profile pic. But late October last year, I felt like a completely new version of me was emerging out of the darkness, and that photo did not feel as aligned with what I was starting to feel into. I was experiencing my inner essence becoming my outer expression. So I put some thought into what kind of scene would represent that, and a late afternoon, vibrant sun felt aligned with representing that radiance that I was feeling inside of me, which was being expressed outside of me. I also realized that this was a journey of becoming the crone archetype, connecting to the truth of who we are and letting that be our outer expression, rather than trying to mold ourselves into who we think we should be by society standards. Maintaining youth is celebrated so much more than celebrating the wisdom that can only be gathered over a lifetime of experiences. The good, the bad, the ugly, all alchemized into pearls of wisdom, which leads to a radiance emanating out of us from a knowing of our own worth. To capture the essence of this feeling, though, I really had to feel into and embody this way of being. It was not something that I could pretend to be. I felt ready to fully let go of my inhibitions and express what I was feeling inside of me. At first, I took stills, setting my phone on a tripod using a self-timer function, but the images did not feel as dynamic as I wanted them to. So instead, I switched over to video mode and started dancing in front of the camera, occasionally connecting with the camera lens, staring deeply into it, fully embodying and embracing the story of who I am becoming, a strong, independent woman who does not need the approval of others to feel worthy, knowing that worthiness starts from within us. It's not something we are given from others. Everything lined up perfectly, and while the quality of those images was not at a professional standard, which is hard for a former professional photographer to accept, it does capture the essence of what I wish to express and the story that I was embodying and telling myself because of what I was feeling internally. So I accepted the so-called imperfections of the capture in the same way that I accept the so-called imperfections of myself. The message is delivered in a powerful way that is much more valuable to me right now. So instead of waiting for everything to be perfect before capturing this photo and sharing it with the world, I chose to continue to take steps forward, imperfections and all, as that had more impact than holding back until everything was perfect. But telling myself that story about what I am becoming and why I was feeling this internal change taking place inside of me actually helped me convey that and to really make the most of that feeling that I was internally feeling, and I wanted to be the outer expression in my profile picture. From that short 10-minute session, I really didn't spend that much time taking that photo or the video footage that came from that. But from that short little session of 10 minutes, I regularly use images from that and the video footage. So it has actually served me to put that energy in that moment into capturing that content. And all it took was stepping out of my comfort zone, accepting the perfection of the imperfections, and letting my inner essence be my outer expression. Nothing fancy, just a few resources that are easily accessible to anyone, and permission to truly feel into the story I was telling myself about the magic of this journey of life. It's not about maintaining who we were once, it's about celebrating who we are becoming and who we are at every stage and phase of the journey. Since that day, I have taken several videos, which I then extract photos from and use in my content creation. I now make a point of tuning into these times when I feel connected to the essence of who I am and make a point of capturing content when feeling that way. That does not only look like a day where I'm dressed up, wearing makeup and all put together. It can also be a day that I'm in my loungewear or even my yard workwear. But what I am doing is authentically aligned with the expression of who I am and the life that I live by design. We are multifaceted beings, which is what makes us and our life's journey so interesting. So capturing content in those moments also adds interest to the content we share with our audience and attracts newcomers into our community. It's not just taking a photo of the finished product, the thing we sell to earn our income. It's also sharing the smaller facets of our existence that contribute to this bigger picture of our lives. Not saying we need to capture absolutely every aspect of our lives and share that, but broadening your scope a little wider than just the work that you do offers viewers the opportunity to connect more deeply with you. By capturing footage in these moments and building a stock of images and videos, when you have the words you wish to express but you don't have a photo or footage in that same moment to pair with it, or even time to capture one, in that instance, then you can draw from the stock library that you have created for yourself that represents your brand, ethos, and the life that you have designed for yourself. And keep that connection going with your audience, attracting new audience members and build your business without feeling like it's all consuming, because you are doing it in a way that is enjoyable and supportive to your own needs while serving the needs of others. In the Soaring membership, we work with the energy of the moon cycle and our personal cycle, which helps you become aware of the best times to set aside time to capture content and build your stock library, and also which times in the cycle you are more inclined to have an influx of ideas or the desire to expand on those ideas and finish up projects. Each phase and stage has a different gift within it that you can tap into and build on so that you can create content and business offerings without working yourself into the ground and burning out in the process. So if you'd like to journey alongside other passionate, inspired creators doing business to their own beat and realize your dreams working in a cyclical manner, be sure to join the Soaring membership. It's only $33 a month. We gather twice in the cycle, meeting in a beautiful virtual container. So this offering is available to you wherever you are in the world. Our Moon Magic Monday gatherings are held on the Monday closest to the new moon or the full moon, and the next one being the 13th of January at 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Sydney, Australia time. There is access to previous recorded sessions in the membership portal and activities that can support you in preparing for your journey with us, plus other supportive material and activities that I share between our gatherings to assist you in creating harmony and flow in your business and life through taking aligned action. So you can use your unique gifts to earn your income and enjoy living a life by design too. The more of us thriving through being uniquely ourselves, the more people we will inspire in our networks to follow their passion and live a life by design as well. The most important aspect of creating a stock library of images and footage, I believe, is that it needs to be enjoyable. When we are in the zone of our genius, we are less concerned about what others will think because we are operating from a place of alignment with the truth of who we are at an essence level. I don't capture footage of myself because I am full of myself. The honest truth is that I have always been very self-conscious and have spent most of my life feeling unworthy of being celebrated, which is also what I attracted into as my reality, until I started to connect with my inner essence and let that be my outer expression. Not seek validation from others, but gift myself the blessing of self-acceptance and love. Once I started practicing that, I also started attracting in experiences that proved that to be true. In my Dressing Guidebook, I share numerous stories from my life's journey of struggles and experiences that led me to focusing on empowerment rather than what was disempowering me. And I have now reached a point in my journey where I am grateful for all those experiences, both challenging and beautiful. If you would like a copy of the Dressing Guidebook so you can curate a wardrobe that fosters effortless flow of energy and you too can move through your days with confidence, ease and grace, you can find a link to that in the show notes. It's only $11 for the ebook, and those who have read it have expressed how it has inspired them to rethink their wardrobe and choices when selecting pieces to buy in the future. Taking the focus off what we are not and shifting it to elements we are comfortable with and even proud of, as well as what we value about our life and our work, makes it easier to capture images and footage that represents our essence and our brand ethos. It helps our audience understand why we do what we do and how investing in our offerings can serve them too. It builds trust and connection. So instead of focusing on what you don't have available to you in terms of time, resources, or inclination to capture footage and create content consistently, start tuning into what's available to you. What it is that you truly value about your daily life experiences. Create stories for yourself based on the experiences of your life's journey that adds to the magic of your existence. Have fun with it. The energy and essence will come through in your captures too. Also, share more of what drives you to create what you contribute to the collective, so your audience gets a deeper understanding of who you are and what you are about. And build a stock library of captures that can carry you through those moments when you don't have the time or capacity to create something in that moment. So you can continue to connect with your audience and attract newcomers to your community and build the business and life you desire to create for yourself. A life by design.